And boom, just like that. 2 minutes late, but we're here. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to We All Gonna Die Wednesday. You made it halfway through the work week. 135 episodes deep, and it ain't happened yet. So fearmongers are full of shit. Fearmongers are full of shit. We gonna make it. And we have a very special guest with us tonight. I'd like everybody to welcome Prepping with Sarge to We All Gonna Die Wednesday. Sarge, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Livingston, man, you want to hit them with the intro, and then we're going to get right into this because this is a real serious topic here this evening. So roll that bean footage.
It works pretty good.
We all gonna die Wednesday. Livingston, man, roll that beautiful bean footage. We all gonna die.
Boom! Just like that, we all gonna die Wednesday. That's the extended version, right?
It was before we had Eric to
oh yeah, that's right.
take the Grim
old
Reaper's place.
It's true. It's true. Eric N1RV has replaced the Grim Reaper as the announcer for We All Gonna Die Wednesday.
Yeah, it was up. He had me playing some weird sitar riff.
Oh yeah, that was actually
for Polar Eclipse or something.
Oh yeah. I stay hiding and recording him when he's doing all that cool stuff so that I can play it back for him later. And he's like, "Wow, I did that."
Best intro in the game, guys. You guys got the best intro in the game for sure.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. All to this guy right here.
Second, Alvin and the Chipmunks has the best intro in the game. Period.
Right on.
Sarge, thank you so much for joining us tonight and bringing about this topic, man. It's super important for us to talk about here in the preparedness community because, in all honesty, man, when it comes to citizenry, the preppers are the ones who are going to hold it down. And I think majority of the quote unquote normies are just going to flight and freeze. That's their two main things that are going to happen. They're going to fight and Ghost Lincoln. Thank you so much, my brother. I fear for them, and I think a lot of people need to hear this message. A lot more people than have already, and I think it's important for us to spread the word without the fear and without the scare tactics. You know, this is a hard topic to discuss, and it's not something anybody wants to see happen. Right. But we need to be able to react to it if and when it happens. Yep. And I know you've been at the forefront of trying to bring this to the public's attention, Sarge. And I really, really appreciate you doing that for the community because I think it's super important and great topic here tonight. You know, I rewatched the Sean Ryan podcast where he had Sarah Adams and Legend and Scott, I believe is the other guy's name. Mm-hmm. And they throw out some numbers that are pretty staggering. They say that there's over 1,000 Al-Qaeda fighters inside the U.S. right now. Yep. That's a big number. That's a really big number.
Thank you guys for having me on, by the way. I know you guys have both been over to my channel. I think is this my first time coming to your house?
Second.
Yeah, definitely the second.
Okay.
Definitely. We had some technical glitches, so I'm glad everything's seems to be going smooth so far here tonight.
I think the
Don't
last
jinx
time we
me,
tried to
YouTube.
do this was it on Skype or whatever. It was like a
there was some kind of glitch. So
and I've upgraded my connection here too because I was having issues too. So I've done a couple things and it's been much better the last couple months for me. But yeah, it's always good.
I like the background looks good. Like
it's like Washington D.C., doesn't it?
yeah, it's perfect.
Something.
Carbon
looks
copy.
Like.
Carbon copy.
I stay away from liberal strongholds.
So yeah, it's always good to hang out with you guys. It really is. This came to my attention back in like January, I think. When it was actually the first one that I saw talking about it was on the Sean Ryan show. It was Sarah Superbad Adams. And so can I talk about her for a second?
Yeah, absolutely, Sarge. You have the stage, my friend.
Okay. So I think if we're going to talk about something as big as like saying that we have 1,000 Al-Qaeda in the United States, then we need to that's a big thing to say. So we got to give where is this coming from? This is not Sarge making this crap up. Sarah Superbad Adams was a CIA targeter. And her job during the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq was to basically track some of the big leaders in Al-Qaeda and ISIS-K and the Taliban. And my understanding is they say you're never retired from the CIA, right? But I don't think she's active CIA. And what she's been doing is she had established contacts within these cells, basically insiders, that were, at one point helping the United States and giving us information and whatnot. And I don't think she's the only one that's in this position from what I've read and heard, but she's one of the people that's kind of coming forward about it. So she still has these contacts, even though she's not actively working in that role anymore. And so the information is coming directly from people that are inside Al-Qaeda and ISIS-K that are sympathetic to the United States. These are our informants that are inside the system. And what they're saying is that they had, over the course of the last 4 years or so, we had a very porous southern border, managed to get in small groups, get these people into South and Central America and then through the border into the United States that way. Because it was just basically people were coming right through. There wasn't a lot of effort, and it wasn't enough effort being made to target that stuff. And we know from the one that you listened to today, I think, is where I can't remember the guy's name, but he was talking about that there is also heavy weaponry that's been smuggled in, right? Is that the one you were listening to?
Yep, absolutely.
And some of that they caught, and we're talking about shoulder-fired missiles, similar to they're called man-pads, right? But they're similar to an RPG. And I did a live stream on this if you want to go see what a picture of a man-pad looks like.
Stands for man-portable
air defense
system. Yeah.
Heavy weaponry. It can do a lot of
man-pads, though, makes it sound like some kind of masculine hygiene product. But
it's an odd choice for a name. Yeah.
They really could have picked a different way to put that. But I always found that to be fun. What the hell is man-pads?
Yeah.
I thought that was I thought that was in the duffel bag.
Yeah, it's a pretty odd choice for a weapon name for sure.
But all right, so you're alleging.
Well, the government is alleging.
The government is alleging that through our porous southern border, that there are now in the hands of nefarious actors,
terrorists.
Terrorists.
Not nefarious actors. They're terrorists. They're from terrorist agencies. They're trained by terrorist cells in
these are trained soldiers. These are not just people who are sympathetic.
These are trained Al-Qaeda fighters have entered the country.
So nefarious actors doesn't work because why?
Because they're terrorists, and we don't give them that leniency. They're scumbags. They're terrorists. They're here to kill Americans, and they don't get any dignity as far as I'm concerned. They don't get called bad actors or anything like that. They're terrorists. They're here to terrorize our population.
We got fucking nefarious actors running around. We got unsavory characters. Does that work better?
Well, that's what you see at All Town.
Yeah, so when I think of that, I think of like
I am the unsavory character. I know what you mean.
I think there's, when you say that, I'm tend to think more like somebody who's got bad intentions, maybe is going to try to make a weapon in their basement and do some damage. This goes beyond that. These are trained fighters that have been through tactical training. They know how to move as a squad. They know how to communicate off grid, and like this is no joke. These are the same people that our soldiers were fighting, basically.
Now, why I always have to play devil's advocate is because
go ahead. This is going to be fantastic. Please do.
No, so what this sounds like again is I remember in the aftermath of the greatest event of the 21st century, September 11th, 2001. Where again we were reminded of the idea that there was sleeper cells and this and everything. In fact, like 9/11 was perpetrated by essentially what was one.
Correct.
And I'd be interested to hear how in one breath, like the FBI and the United States justice system, like either ignores, misses the signs of these things, or does all this stuff, or has indeed since 9/11, like how many actual like sleeper cell attacks have been made, or when the FBI says like they busted one, people laugh at them and say you caused it in the first place.
Yeah.
Is there sorry, like something flew by my glasses there. All right. Is there a lack of credibility in the justice system? Probably. Yeah. Is there a need for the justice system to essentially justify itself by perpetuating? It has to,
I think there's enough people out there who really hate the U.S. for the things that the government has done, perhaps in their country, perhaps to their parents.
Every time there is an what do they call this? An MCI featuring a firearm, there's a big deal made of it, and there's a lot of things that go into it. But in the same time, like there's these illegal immigrants here, not just illegal immigrants, but actual terrorist soldiers on our. It's not. I'm not saying I don't believe that this is true.
Oh, I believe it's true, and I believe it's a part of why we're seeing all of the camera systems that are being put up everywhere, because these guys they're highly trained soldiers. They were, in most cases, Livingston, man, the root training of these guys was U.S. Special Operations units. Okay, so they fight just like us. They learned from us, and they know how to get around.
The U.S. supported Al Qaeda against the Soviets.
Yeah, correct.
So yeah,
correct, and it's crazy.
Is it a thing that, like, I mean, should you keep your head on a swivel? Okay, like
absolutely
noted.
Yeah, totally. And pay attention. Pay attention if somebody's acting strangely. If somebody's casing a joint, right? You can look at somebody and say, "Hey, he's surveilling this place," and make note of it, and not just make note of it. Call law enforcement and say, "Hey, I think this guy might be surveilling this place. Here's a picture of him. That's the best I could do for you. I wasn't willing to go up and talk to him." Yeah. But these things not only have to be seen, they have to be brought to law enforcement's attention, local law enforcement. I'm not talking, you don't have to call the J. Edgar Hoover building, but call your local sheriff, call your local state police, even your town cops, and let them know that I think somebody's surveilling this place. Those are the tips that save lives.
So somebody in chat, Milo, asked a great question, which is, let me back up. I do want to get to your question, Milo, because I think it's a great question. But the kicker for me, guys, was a few months back when Israel was bombing Iran, right? And Iran suddenly said, "We will activate our sleeper cells in the United States." So that's like full-on acknowledgement that they know that they're whether or not they belong to Iran or they're just allied with or sympathizers with or whatever. And the United States government acknowledged there is a threat here with these sleeper cells. So that was the first time that you actually got an actual government response that was on mainstream media, like CNN was talking about it and Fox News was talking about it, and then it died again. That they know that there's sleeper cells in the United States. And then the story died, and then we had other things come up like the Epstein files and stuff like that.
It reeks of like Red Scare communist propaganda. The walls have ears.
Sure. I get that.
I sometimes think that a lot of this, these new panics are essentially just recycled reboots of the same old story. Just we're gonna.
Well, some people, if you take it as panic, then you are indeed the normie. Okay, most people
ever tried it
of the prepared mindset. I would say, yeah, once upon a time. But once you put the magic glasses on, there's no going back.
You can't go back into.
You can't go back into normie world. So normie world is gone.
Says the only motherfucker on the live stream not wearing glasses.
I said they were magic glasses.
Once you've broken out of the matrix, you can't go back.
But man, I tell you what.
I'm not discounting. I'm not discounting the idea. We're unpacking here.
So here's what I try to wrap my head around. They say 1,000 Al Qaeda fighters, and they've all cited that this came from multiple channels, right? It wasn't just one place said 1,000. They heard it here and there and over there and back over there. They keep hearing the same number come up, that there's 1,000 of these people in the U.S. Now,
how many of them are in Guantanamo Bay? 300. Okay, so we just now thirded it.
So the thing about these attacks is there was an attack perpetrated by the same group in Russia on a dance hall, right? The Russians actually busted the people who were going to perpetrate that attack, but these groups are so sophisticated that they have backup plans and backup groups ready to act in the event that somebody is apprehended or caught or whatever the case may be, or fails to act. They have people waiting in the wings to do this. So that being said, I did a little math today, and what it comes down to is about 20 people. If we just did the lower 48 states, you have 20 terrorists in each state. That's not good, right? These guys can inflict mass casualties quick. They are not there to fight and give up. They are there to fight to the death.
Yeah.
And that is
five guys with AK-47s and maybe a man pad for each unit are going to do a lot of damage.
Absolutely.
Lot of damage.
I mean, if they went for, say, state capitals, right? Mm-hmm. The lower 48, they hit each state capital, bedlam would ensue in each state. Each state would basically shut down and be brought to its knees. The people would panic. They're Livingston, man, they're talking about these people attacking in first responder uniforms.
Yep.
Right? So you want to talk about blurring the lines, obscuring everything. Right. You don't even know who the enemy is. And there's a lot of people in uniforms running around with rifles right now. So you're not even going to be able to tell who's the bad guy, who's the good guy until they point a gun at you. It's a horrible situation, and I really hope and I pray that law enforcement and state and federal agencies are taking this very seriously and informing the public. I highly doubt that's happening because there is no trust between the federal government and we the people anymore. It's been totally degraded. Not even our veteran community. They are the ones who could really help with this, but there's no trust there. A lot of veteran groups and things like that have been labeled as extremist organizations at this point. Right. So the distrust is what could make this a lot worse than it has to be. Yeah. And I think we need to bridge some gaps here.
Yeah, I want to touch on a couple of things there. She said, so there was more intel that came out more recently that
who is she?
Sarah Adams.
Okay. That these groups are heavily compartmentalized. So what do we mean by that? That let's say you have 5 of these guys living in close proximity together. There may be 1 in 5 who actually has contact with the person above them. So let's say ICE grabs Livingston man and says, we caught a terrorist. And
way too fucking white for that.
They take him to one of those, what do they call the places where like you no longer exist?
Oh God, the black sites.
Yeah, like they take Livingston Man to a black site and they start squeezing him, pulling out his fingernails. And everything. He doesn't even have any intel to share. He may know one other person, right? So let's say there's 1,000 of them, and they've all been compartmentalized into these little tiny groups. I think it's brilliant, really, because they catch a couple of them, still doesn't disrupt the plan, right?
Exactly.
And you maybe have, and this is just me speculating, maybe you've got 20 people out of that 1,000 that have contact with the person above them, that has contact with the person above them, that gives the order to when it's time. So Milo's question was, why haven't they done anything yet? Well, we know that they're extremely patient. The tower attacks was years in the making. That took years for them to develop that, and they were very, very patient about it. They don't mind. We've got a couple big things coming up next year. We've got the 275th anniversary of our country, right?
Yep.
Are you guys are you proponents of the what do they call this? I think they call it social programming, where like when people claim like The Simpsons foretold the future, it was supposed to condition you to like.
It is interesting, yeah.
All right.
The correlations are there, man.
All right, now have you noticed that like there seems to be this zeitgeist about 9/11 for some reason?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
What now?
Yeah, because if social conditioning is a thing, and if the media is attempting to prepare us for an event, personally on my like Facebook reels and this and that, they keep showing me things. I'm like, it's August 20th.
Well, you're getting closer to the 9/11 thing, so it's slightly more relevant. I would say that's probably it. It may be on some people's minds already. Do
you think that they attempt to use like I'm going to use the word again, zeitgeist, which means in German, literally translated means time ghost, but what it means is the spirit of the times. Mm. Do you think that like media and public opinion is shaped around that? Like they can almost manipulate it?
I do. I think all mainstream media now is nothing but a propaganda machine. And you need to really nitpick the information that you take from these news articles, because they're 90% opinion and 2% what they want you to believe.
And they're fed a script. You know, there's very few journalists that have the ability to report on what they want to tell in the way that they want to tell it. You know, it's a script that's given to them by the networks. Where do the networks get it from? We can only speculate, right? Like maybe advertisers, corporations that are paying, maybe. And actually there was some admission by social media that the government specifically would, CIA would call sometimes and be like, take these posts down. Yeah, take these posts down, So some of that is controlled at that level too. But the one story that comes to mind for me, Livingston Man, is, do you remember this one? This was probably...
I remember everything. I have an SSD for a brain.
So Gotti Schwartz, who's one of the reporters that I like, he's an investigative journalist. I think he's with NBC. I can't remember which network he's with now. But a couple of years ago, he did some investigating journalism on this sleeper cell that was busted out in the desert. And I want to say Nevada, it could have been New Mexico. I don't remember which state it was. But basically, this guy had a bunch of kids that he was training to be school shooters. And
yes. There was literally an Al Qaeda training center, for
little kids.
Texas. Yeah,
for little kids.
And that poof, it went away.
Oh, they destroyed that story. They destroyed it. Yeah, and I had tweeted at Gotti back when it was Twitter and be like, "Hey, this is important. Please stick with it." And he acknowledged me back, which was pretty cool. You almost don't get that now. And he tried. He kept trying to go to the site. And here's what else is weird. Like after that site got raided, they left the weapons there. And Gotti showed that. He was like, "Look at, man, there's like guns just sitting around here. There's nobody. It's not fenced off or nothing."
This is
weird,
crazy.
Man. Like, what the heck is going on?
I mean,
then they buried it. It was gone. The story's just gone.
So we have things that were brought to light accidentally and brought to the American public's attention, like this instance. I'm going to say Eric Holder running guns to the cartels. right? Fast and the Furious. That really happened. There are untold numbers of heavy caliber weapons sold or given to cartels south of the border, solely so that when they shot somebody, they would know where they came from.
Well, and one of our border officers did get killed with it.
Exactly.
It's like when you go to the doctor and they inject you with that uranium shit that makes you glow in the X-ray. Like,
yeah, everything's fine.
They didn't understand how it was working.
Yep.
It was diagnostic.
So,
speaking of radioactive guys, I did not have radioactive shrimp on my 2025 bingo card.
I didn't know that I was going to have to walk around when I got home with my Geiger counter to make sure that there wasn't cesium-137 in my fucking freezer, Livingston, man.
Right.
You hear about this? Radioactive shrimp? If you bought shrimp in a bag from Walmart, frozen ones, there is they tell you to throw them away because they could be contaminated with cesium-137. Somebody went fishing off the coast of Fukushima. Yeah, exactly. And they didn't care. They're like, yo, bro, there's so many shrimp here. I don't know what their problem is.
It's like 3 shrimp in 1, man.
These shrimp have 15 tails.
They're so big. They're like ultra jumbos. Where did it come from?
Bad for you.
Crazy.
And those hornets, by the way, the radioactive hornets, that wasn't far from me, by the way.
No, holy shit.
Yeah, that was South Carolina.
Come to find out. Now everybody makes a big deal about Ivy Mike and Castle Bravo. All the big, huge nuclear tests took place out in the Pacific Ocean.
Right.
With and either doesn't know or downplays the idea that most of the above ground nuclear testing took place right here in Nevada.
Yeah,
on the continental United States, right there.
Yeah, we all got radiation in our bones, man.
It lives in everything except sunken battleships before those explosions went off. Fun fact: certain medical and scientific diagnostic equipment has to be made from low background radiation steel, which can, as a general rule, only be found from sunken battleships before August 1945.
Wow.
Did you know that, prepping with Sarge?
I didn't. That's why I love you guys. I'm always learning new shit.
Fun facts with the Livingston there.
Someone said one time that Livingston speaks like he reads a lot, and I do. There's 2 different ways that people talk. When I sometimes speak either completely batshit crazy, or I sometimes speak like rather almost like I'm reciting an article, because I am.
From the memory banks.
It works like this: a person that speaks well reads a lot. A person that spells badly speaks well but doesn't read, and vice versa. And it doesn't even matter, because context is context. And if you know what the person meant,
does it really matter?
It doesn't.
Wow.
Yeah, I try to read scientific articles every day and stuff like that. The stuff, you
got to make it entertaining, like.
I mean, of course, being a therapist, I'm looking for. I look for a lot of stuff about neurology and the brain and stuff like that. That's really interesting for me. But I also love like quantum physics and stuff like that. And I can't do the math. I don't ask me to do the math, but I love reading the theories and stuff like that.
It's made up by the utterly deranged. It's all fake.
Well, that's the thing. Like you talk about things like superposition and I don't know what else, quantum entanglement and all this stuff, right? Like it sounds awesome. I have no idea. Like I have no way of testing if that stuff's true or whatever. It's really cool though.
Okay, I hope we'd go here. I have no way of testing how that's true. That is the fundamental, perhaps problem, not so much problem, but the hill that humanity has to overcome, is what he just said right there. He has no way of testing what is said to him and presented as fact is such.
Yeah.
When they talk about laws in the United States and the Constitution or whatever, I believe it was Thomas Jefferson, but maybe it was Alexander Hamilton, but he said that the laws should be either so voluminous or so complicated that the average guy can't understand it. But here come the fucking physicists. The laws are indeed so complicated and so ridiculous that the average person can't understand it. So what we have to try to do is interpret them the best ways that we understand how to do it. Some people turn to religion. Some people turn.
So here's what gets me with the whole changing of laws thing, right? Like, they ever send you a letter in the mail and say, "Hey, we changed this law. Now this is the context of it." Were you ever informed of this?
No, but yet ignorance of the law is not an excuse, apparently.
Well, yeah.
Although
I didn't
I'm not
even
allowed to
know
know
that
what they
was
are.
a law. How could you just like create that out of thin air?
You have to pass it to see what's in it, guys.
Yeah.
What's that movie? The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Where like the plans have been on display for 2,000 years on a planet across the galaxy.
And nobody goes to see it.
Yes, they were not. We didn't even have space travel for that. Like, they demolished the planet. It's just been in the works for years.
So when I know we're going a little bit off the rails here, but like the superposition, right? So this is basically
with Sarge going off the rails is what we do. I hope you came here ready for that.
Yeah,
so Schrodinger's cat, right? That's basically superposition, right? You put a cat in the box, and there's radioactive material in the box. Before you open the box to look, the cat is both dead and alive, and it's not really determined until you open the box, right? And then your observation determines the reality. That's the concept behind Schrodinger's cat, and the double slit experiment, which please don't ask me to explain that. Maybe somebody.
No, I've seen it. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Essentially proves that yes, this could be true. That all of our reality is basically based on our observation. It's not fundamentally there.
It's not there until
when
you
we
see
observe it.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, but Schrodinger's cat is just that's like a trolley problem. It's do you put the cat in the fucking radioactive box or not?
So here's another thing that just
there.
came out is that they measured particles at different times, and the initial measurement, even if it was delayed, would be identical to the other particle, even if they like changed it. Right.
So you're talking about entanglement?
Yeah, like the future determines the past, and the past determines the future.
Impossible. It cannot. The past has happened, and the future
if time
has
is nonlinear. If time is nonlinear, then it is.
So I guess you wouldn't call it the future. I guess in that moment, it is actually the present. Right. So the present and the past affect each other.
And by that theory,
the future does not exist, and so therefore cannot influence the argument.
So what if
it does, but your consciousness isn't there?
The past and present can influence the future, but the future cannot exert any influence. It can't. It hasn't happened.
The future already exists, and your consciousness is not there.
Impossible. If the future already exists, then it's either the present or the past.
So if their measurements and calculation thing is true, it may explain what do they call that? It's some kind of effect, like the Berenstain Bears.
Oh yeah, the Mandela effect. Yeah.
Mandela effect, exactly.
That's propaganda, bro. They're lying to you.
If what they say is true,
there was a movie called Shazam with Sinbad, and I seen that shit.
It could explain all of this. So
for those of you guys who are Star Wars fans, in Empire Strikes Back, does Darth Vader say to Luke, "Luke, I am your father," or does he say, "No, I am your father"?
He says, "No, I am your father."
He says, "Luke, I am."
That's how I remember it, Mike. And if you go and watch Empire Strikes Back now, it's "No, I am your father."
I am your father.
But I remember it the way you do.
There's one that really bugs me. It's that they took the cornucopia out the Fruit of the Loom.
There's a lot of them.
Logo.
There's a lot of them.
The only reason I know what a cornucopia is, a horn of plenty.
Because of that.
It's because of the Fruit of the Loom logo. They try to lie and say that never existed. No,
Yeah. The roaming prepper says Han Solo shot first.
Yeah. Great. He did.
Okay, you know what else? And a lot of people that don't know this. The biggest conspiracy theory you've been led to believe your entire life is that John F. Kennedy was fired upon first. The real truth is that he shot at Oswald first. Like there's like all these missing pictures. JFK like did not get caught lacking. I promise you that. He's seen that motherfucker.
So he pulled out his Glock and tried to murder.
He had the long barrel. He had the 17L, bro. He shot first, and then Lee Harvey, in a panic, fired 3 shots.
He was just defending himself.
Every single person he couldn't have possibly been aiming for.
No, it's fun to go down those rabbit holes, though, right? Like all these different multiverse theory and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
We went from sleeper cells to the truth.
We did. We should probably pull this train back on the tracks.
Let's do it.
The truth is, we live in a post-truth society. There is no such thing as the truth except the one that you basically absorb and now treat as dogma.
Your reality, right? Like that's
your
the only
religion.
thing you can prove is what you're observing.
What is religion but belief, or vice versa? So, and everybody's got their own, and you're forced to navigate this landscape where you pick. You're cherry picking your sources. Essentially, everybody's out here just looking for the thing that makes sense to them. Isn't that what we're doing?
Yeah. I think a lot of people have what they call their own truths. You know, it's not the truth anymore. It's the truth that you choose to believe, because like you said, we're totally in a post-truth era here. And we're fed a lot of propaganda.
If you didn't see it, you don't know that it happened.
Oh, Livingston, man, you got to question everything you see now. The AI, I thought it was going to take a lot longer to get as good as it did.
But then I can tell you that something happened in honest truth. I saw it happen, but there's no way for you to verify what I'm saying. I could have been
correct.
And there is no such thing as truth. It's a pursuit you should abandon.
Yeah, man.
So I had one little tidbit here from the sleeper cell. If we want to swing back to that,
absolutely,
okay.
Absolutely.
All right, pulling the train back on the track, guys.
Do it, Sarge. Do it.
Sarge, just level with us. Where are they?
We don't know.
So that's a great question, though, right? Like with all these ICE raids and everything that's going on, why are we not hearing like a single story of, by the way, we nabbed somebody from ISIS-K or Al-Qaeda? So where are they? Are they all really good at hiding? Or is there another reason, right? Like, are we not going after these people because they're watching them? I don't know. It's hard. That's hard to make sense of, right? Like it
really is.
With the amount of ICE raids that are going on, we should have heard something. Somebody should have gotten picked up.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. And I think that's kind of what Livingston Man was alluding to in the beginning is sometimes the government lets the bad guy just kind of hang out there to see what they're doing and let the boogeyman be over everybody's shoulder, because then we can just swoop in and save them. And sometimes it doesn't work out.
Yeah. There were allegations that the FBI was, if not enabling, I'm going to use the word enabling, but to the very last second, like entrapping people and targeting folks and radicalizing them themselves and pushing them along a path they allegedly, potentially might not have gone down without the prodding and poking. They created a problem where it didn't exist and then swooped in and solved it.
Pete's saying we did get somebody.
Oh, cool. He said, yeah, it's, let's see.
We got one guy. Cool.
There it is. We did. It's in the local news. However, not many know where they are. If you take a jihadi and put him in Peru for a few years, he'll sound like a local and blend in. You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all, Pete. And
in 25 years, he's going to be the president of the country because he started an insurrection.
I personally saw the video of the Syrian bomb maker walk across the southern border. And when the guy says he was kind of accosting him, just an average citizen filming people coming across the border. And he says, "Oh, you don't know who I am, but you will." And he pointed at the guy and said, "You will know who I am." Wild, man. Yeah, wild.
My fear is we're going to get caught with our pants down. And the last little bit of intel that I can share here comes from Sarah Adams. And who knows? Maybe she's playing the greatest hoax in the planet here, but I don't get that vibe. I think she's a believer in what she's saying, and that's as far as we can take it. What the last little piece she said was basically that the intel she's getting is that what they want to do is do multiple October 7th style. Like when I say October 7th, I'm talking about when Hamas attacked Israel on October 7th, and it was a slaughter. It was a slaughter. They want to do multiple attacks, multiple cities at the same time, targeting possibly hospitals or schools, you know, these, because they love to hit places. Bad guys love to hit places that are gun-free zones. They love soft targets, easy targets. And that they would, so stage one would be some kind of attack like that on an easy target. And then the alert's going to go out, right? 911, we need all first responders at this location, attack in progress, blah, 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 blah. Second stage is going to be double tap. So if you guys have never heard of that in the audience or whatever, that's a tactic from the IRA, which was a terrorist organization in Northern Ireland, where they would attack a pub, and then when the police came, they hit it again because they want to hit the first responders. So now you've to hit the soft target, you've hit the first responders, presumably by surprise, probably with something explosive that's going to take out a lot of your first responders. Now that whole region is basically defenseless except for people who have firearms and training, right? So now it's like it's a free-for-all. And then that's when the third stage would kick off, which would be their ultimate goal, which is like they're just going to go run rampant like they did in Israel as long as they can. And then when they can't, they'll die or blow themselves up or whatever. And imagine that happening, what happened in Israel, but in multiple cities across the United States at the same time.
Yeah.
What does that do? But what does that do? But once again, every time, awaken the sleeping giant.
We'd go in and start kicking ass again. But how many?
What does any indoctrinated psychopathic person who thinks they have anything to gain by participating in any of that hope to gain?
Oh well, they're gonna be martyrs for their religion. That's what they believe. They're religious fundamentalists, religious ideologists, and they have chosen to die for their God. I mean, in battle.
They're apostates, is what they are. Anyone that believes
that question though of like when Hamas. Go ahead. Sorry, Livingston, man.
Anyone that believes that anything that was just said here is justified by anything that was said in any holy literature of any religion ever is a deluded, mistaken person. And I feel the need to say that. Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense to me either, man. But look at it this way, right? When Hamas attacked Israel, they had to know what the repercussions of that was going to be, right? They had to know that Israel was going to come in and just mow the lawn. You know what I mean?
Totally.
And that's been, 2 years now, and they're still mowing, and they're not done.
Is this a psychopathic, out of touch regime, or is this orchestrated to generate
Al-Qaeda terrorists?
It's hard to make sense of, man.
They're Al-Qaeda terrorists. What they want to do is kill as many Americans as they can before they either opt out with some sort of vest or vehicle or something, or are taken out by first responders or armed citizens.
This I'm gonna say something right now. I'm gonna predict the future because I have my special glasses that you spoke of.
Yeah,
I can read the writing on the wall.
Sure,
I can see it, and so can he. I bet you. Tomorrow you're gonna complain about my live stream got shadow banned and this and that because we've done talking about some heavy shit tonight.
Yeah, it's important to get the message out about this stuff.
I think what you folks should do is indeed keep your head on a swivel for the topics described here this evening. Well, at the same time, do not become prejudiced and afraid.
No,
and don't fear don't fear the other, lest the other fear you, and fear breeds hate, and hate breeds violence.
Yep.
Your neighbors are your neighbors. Your fellow people are your fellow people. But temper that with the grain of salt that says, if you see something, say something. Sometimes something just ain't right.
For real. And I think it's important for everybody to be on the lookout for the signs of this stuff. You know?
I don't want to see a post 9/11 America where, yes, there was American flags hanging from everybody's house and there was a sense of unity, but also there was Sikh Muslims who owned convenience stores putting up like, I am not them and stuff. Like, I am so tired of the racial and religious and skin color fucking division in everything. Stop letting them tell you you are a thing and you park yourself in the box. It used to be they put you in the box. Now they're letting you do it yourself. Stop. What you believe is what you believe in. You know what? Stop worrying about like, oh, well, all my friends think this, or I should say this because that's what my YouTube community thinks, or whatever else. You gotta fucking stand on some moral ground somewhere. And I don't care what it is. I only care that you stand on that moral ground.
I think it's good that you brought that up after the Pentagon and the World Trade Centers got hit. For a while, we did have a big sense of patriotism for sure, and that was a beautiful thing. I'm not gonna lie, it was a beautiful thing. But there was also people that were getting dragged out of their cars and beat down, who just had a darker skin color, you know, and didn't matter if they were Muslim. It could have been a Sikh. It could have been somebody from India, you know, Hindu, and people were just like indiscriminately. I'm not saying it was widespread, but it was happening. I know of several cases where it happened, where people like pizza delivery guys just had the crap beat out of them. It's just a pizza delivery guy, you know.
Yeah, it's
cut your 5 minutes hate and just go just rock out. Like, you know, when Philadelphia wins the Super Bowl, they're burning the fucking city down either way.
Win or lose.
Yeah.
Well, and also remember when the pandemic virus was going around, people were doing hate crimes on people from China too. That was happening.
Unfortunately, there's bad people who are going to do bad things. The good news is you can do something about it. You can stand up. You can stop this. If you see it, stop it. Or if you can't physically do it, say you're a lady out with her children in the car, you make that call. Make that call immediately. Hey, we need help right here, right now. Something's going down. Get over here. And we all know that if you dial 911, it's going to take 25 minutes for them to show up anymore. So it's very important for everybody to prepare to be their own first responder, right? Because if an event like this happens, the way that it's been described to us by Sarah Adams and Scott Mann, I think is his name, first responders are not going to be able to respond. And you are going to have to assume that role. It's not fun to think about. It's not glorious, but it's something that has to be done. And the preparedness community is going to have to step up and fill that role, because the average normie doesn't have a clue. They can barely put on a fucking Band-Aid and take an aspirin. Okay. Carry extra tourniquets, learn how to use them, take a stop to bleed course, take a CPR course, take a wilderness first aid course. That teaches you how to do all that cool stuff with nothing, right? With what I have in my pockets. This is what I have. This is how I'm going to make it happen. Learn how to save a life. It's so freaking important, guys. It's so important, because bad things happen, and they tend to happen in bunches, right? So
threes.
Yeah.
And, you know, I talk a lot about the fight, flight, freeze thing in the brain and whatnot. And training will help overcome that. And if you've ever taken a class from like a really good first aid instructor, they'll put you under some stress in the final to like simulate that, like, you know, your heart rate. The best one I ever had was for our final test. He made us leave the room, and then he set up these mannequins with different injuries, and we walk in and it's basically like 5 different mannequins are with 5 different injuries, and you have like 10 seconds to triage. Is the scene safe? Who's most in trouble? What can I do? And then as you're doing whatever you can, he's standing over your shoulder, screaming in your ear, he's gonna die, he's gonna die, you suck, look what you did wrong, just to like get your heart pumping and whatnot. And you know what? At the time, I was like, terrified. But then I remembered that class, and it was the best instructor I ever had for my first aid.
Mm-hmm.
So a little bit of stress can help prepare you for that. And if something, God forbid, something happens like this, you're going to see people frozen in their tracks. Like they're just going to be standing there staring like a zombie. And if you have this time to grab them and get them moving, do it, because somebody sitting still is an easy target. Grab them, throw them into cover. And sometimes that can be enough to like shake them out of it and back into action, But there's a look, like it's like a dissociative look where they're just kind of like
that deer in headlights look.
Yeah, that means somebody's freeze act. It's not even a conscious thing. It's a subconscious thing that the brain does. And if that's happening for them, you're either you got to go and sorry, buddy, too bad for you. Or if you can, get them and pull them with you and like, get down. We got to get out of here.
It sounds like this. It goes,
yeah. And it tunnel vision.
Slow down. Yeah. You get
everything. You can hear it and everything slows down and you're like that scene from Saving Private Ryan where the dude's just watching everything go down around him. You can't hear anything.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's a true. That was the most accurate representation of what you're talking about I've ever seen.
Yeah. And the reason that happens is your brain stem gets overclocked when your fight flight freeze gets activated. So because time is relative. Here we go. We're hooking it back to physics. Because time is relative, your brain is now clocked so fast that you're perceiving the world in slow motion. I know that sounds weird, but that's exactly how that works.
You ever see that movie? I don't know if it's Over the Hedge. I think it's called. They had the fucking squirrel that drank coffee, and he slowed down.
I do remember that.
And they spent it was like a 5-minute sequence where he walked through, he disarmed all these traps and like fixed the entire universe. But then they showed it in actual time. It was like.
So I think another thing that folks, if you're not,
of transcendence is possible, Michael.
If you're not, if you don't know, you need to know the difference between cover and concealment.
Yeah.
Okay. Cover is anything that can stop a bullet, and concealment is something that hides you between you and the person trying to do you harm. Right. Some vehicles can be used as cover. You want to be behind the engine block or behind a wheel and a tire, which is a much smaller place to hide. Concrete, most cases, will stop bullets. You want to be where you're not going to catch a ricochet off of something behind you that's concrete as well. Steel helps. It's you need to learn the difference between cover and concealment. And for God's sakes, do some cardio, because you're probably going to have to fucking run. Right. And the last thing you want to do is have a heart attack in the middle of trying to run away from.
Yeah. Or front windshield of a car will manage like a very, very small caliber, like a 22. Yeah. Maybe 1 or 2 shots, nothing bigger than that. The side windows, it's not going to be any protection at all. No. And they will rip right through doors. They will rip right through windows. In some cases through an entire vehicle, in one door, out the other, and onto a target beyond it. So engine blocks are important. And, knowing the difference, man, you got to know the difference. Got it. There it is. Livingston man has activated the horns. The British police are coming. Yeah, we said too much. We're going to one of those black sites now. We're done.
Yeah, really, you need to know the difference. It could save your life, honestly. Honestly, it could save your life. So learn the difference. Oh, you know what? I think we reached our goal for tonight.
I also think this is one of the most morbid fucking live shows.
It's a hard thing to talk about.
This one has been tough here.
Yeah, I believe we have reached the goal.
You see me making the face. I'm genuinely disgusted because these are not only scenarios that I'd rather not think about,
herein lies the
scenarios that are plausible and believable.
Yeah.
You just don't know what you're up against out there in the world these days. The whole keep your head on a swivel thing is a fucking real thing, man. Like, you gotta know what you don't know what fucking people. It literally, it's fucking people, dude. Like, you don't know what the next person's can walk a mile in their shit.
It's true.
You can't imagine their shit.
True.
You can't walk a mile in their shit. They're walking in shit you can't fathom. Okay? Not part of your fucking entire existence at all. Because you can't, and I hate to say you can't trust people. I would love a world where we all somehow realize that we're all just people, and if we have to find some common enemy, it's that it's not each other, it's a system rather than an individual or a subset of humans. Okay, the idea of racism has got to go away. It's silly, stupid. The idea of if there has to be a struggle, I promise you, it's got to be classism. It's got to be.
Yep.
And that's for another live stream because we only got 2 minutes.
Not wrong. And we reached our goal, and the chat was promised rapid fire questions for prepping with Sarge. Sarge, are you ready?
I think so. Let's do it.
Okay. Okay, here we go. Tent or tarp?
Tent.
Fixed blade or folding knife?
Fixed blade.
Hatchet or saw?
Hatchet.
550 cord or survivor cord?
550.
Hammock or tent?
Tent. I've done the hammock thing. Tent.
Spam or corned beef?
Ooh, spam.
Okay, because I was
got a winner
prepared
there.
to remove you. I was prepared to remove you from the studio.
He said spam.
You can't ask that question of Angry Prepper, though.
No.
He would have got removed from the studio.
Okay, let's see. Nutrient survival or mountain house?
I got to go mountain house.
Mountain house or
but they're both good. They're both good, but I got to go mountain house for taste.
Okay.
Nutrient survival for price is way better price, but yeah.
Let's see. King Corso says squirrel or grubs.
Squirrel.
That's squirrel.
That's easy. Squirrel.
Squirrel, totally.
Yeah.
Let's see. And Rob B says inflatable mattress or bivy.
I usually do an inflatable mattress when I'm camping.
Awesome. Winning Streak wants to know cats or dogs.
I like both. Can I say tie? Am I allowed to say tie?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you get one.
There it was, Sarge. You used it all up. All right, next. Let's see.
Okay, Sarge, a question. Why do we cook bacon but bake cookies? What's up with that?
I don't have a good answer for that. It's one of the great mysteries in the world. Why is a banana called a banana and orange called an orange? Shouldn't the banana be called yellow?
So Vision Preparedness would like to know 9mm or 22 long rifle.
A 9mm. That's my choice for my EDC. And if I had to grab one and go, it'd be 9mm.
Okay. Let's see. We got another question here. This one's from Rural 2IC. He says, yes or no, more Sarge scenario challenge videos?
There's more coming.
All right. And some random dude would like to know why we drive on the parkway and park in the driveway.
That's a good question. I think there's people out there that just want to see the world burn, you know?
Yeah.
You see the things you have to open your mind to when you start to realize the fucking illusion. It's shitty. Like when you zoom in on this crap background, this digital nonsense they show, we park in the driveway and drive on the parkway. It's
a glitch in the Matrix, man.
Your intelligence
So
daily.
parked.
They count on your just acceptance of this bullshit.
They think we're not paying attention, man, but it's a glitch in the Matrix.
It's Rick and Morty shit. Okay.
All right. Eric M1RV says diesel or gasoline.
Diesel.
Diesel is the right answer. I have a gasoline truck.
Okay.
For apocalypse, diesel is the right answer.
CUCV Farmer says AR-15 or AK-47.
I've had both. I prefer the AR-15.
Right. Ghost Lincoln says, question, is a scrambled egg technically fried chicken? Oh, well, only if you fry it, my friend. Only if you fry it. This is a good
I want to
one.
know when we take
What are you
chicken
doing with it? Are you fucking boiling the scrambled egg? Like,
well, you can poached eggs are made that way, right? So
Yeah.
it's different.
Yeah.
I just
when you dip a chicken in battered egg, isn't that kind of sick? Like we're dipping it in basically in its babies.
the most metal thing I ever heard of.
So
It's
bro.
pretty sick, isn't it?
Okay, there's a few more here. Hang on, I'm going to bring us back up. I want to get these last couple into you. Tremors or Tremors 2?
Oh, Tremors. There you go, Tremors.
And the next one we had, King Corso says Striker or Hammer?
Striker.
And Rip Curl Readiness wants to know Ninja or Samurai?
Ninja. I gotta go Ninja.
Right.
Samurai are pretty freaking cool though.
Yeah.
Ninjas were more of a myth.
They're mostly the farmers, weren't they? It was like the peasants and stuff.
Not my area.
Depends on which legend you're reading.
If you read about the
Wu-Tang forever.
The legend of ninjas, it was more like they were like sort of a boogeyman. So there are certain cool things that you can do, anti-ninja architecture, okay? Things like doors that squeak, floorboards that intentionally creak, staircases that make noise. You know when somebody's in your house, right?
Mm-hmm.
But ninjas were more of a folkloric boogeyman rather than an actual thing. But in this day and age where you're worried about perhaps, home invaders and people sneaking around your motherfucking house, anti-ninja architecture is indeed a thing, and you should check it out. Because, a strategically creaky floorboard, that door that's a little loud, it's annoying, but when it's not you opening it, you know what's going on in your house.
Right. Exactly. So, Anne-Marie, boots on the ground or vehicle?
Oh, vehicle. If you can take a vehicle, take a vehicle, yeah.
Always.
An army can march anywhere, and man can put his foot. Do that with your vehicle.
I think King Corso answered that one for Eric. His question was AR-15 or AR-10. King Corso says both.
The lower receivers are
like,
not interchangeable because you have the 51 millimeter NATO.
Lugging around.
AR-10 and AR-15, you need two different rifles. Now you have two of them.
Lugging around an AR-10 with 6 magazines full of that ammo.
This isn't fucking Fallout. You're not that guy jogging through the wasteland with fucking.
It would be. You got to be in really good condition to pull that off.
And let's level, okay? Yeah. We're not.
I'm not.
We're not doing that.
I'm gonna go with my.
We're not doing that.
My AR-15 pistol that does not have, because I don't know if they're legal now or not. It does not have the
arm brace. Yeah.
I'm gonna rely.
You guys know?
Oh, I have no clue. I'm from New York, bro. Everything's illegal, so here it's irrelevant.
You know what's not illegal? The cartel Trent and myself run, where when you trip out and like act stupid, you get put in a refrigerated truck and processed into survival food. Like Homeboy likes Mountain House. What do you think that is, bro?
Yeah.
That's the stuff
now we know what's in there.
That's what we swept up off the floor. That's Aldi's shit.
Winning Streak would like to know Daryl or Carol from The Walking Dead.
Oh, Daryl. Carol annoyed me. I didn't like
Daryl. Prepping Mantis says socks folded or balled up?
Balled up.
We've got another one here. DVD or digital?
I've switched to digital, but if you're thinking about as a prepper, you'd be better off with DVD.
Yep. Analog, baby. Prepping Mantis also says mounds or almond joy.
DVD.
I don't like either.
No kidding.
DVD is not analog. You know what it stands for?
Digital video disc.
Right. So what analog? He said.
Yeah, but it's analog in that you can put it in the machine.
Physical copy.
Yeah.
Physical.
Yeah. It's not a digital thing that's living in the cloud in fucking cyberspace. That makes to me.
Okay, but that's not what that means. You mean physical copy.
Yeah, physical copy. Yeah, right. You're right.
Yardbird says we better start doing some push-ups so we can lug around those AR-10s.
The truth, you guys, and here's where we find the truth is subjective and also context. You knew what he meant.
Yeah. So this will be our last rapid fire question of the evening, prepping with Sarge, because I think it's probably the most important one, and I feel I know how you're going to answer this. But Rip Curl wants to know, bugging in or out?
So for most people, if you can bug in. I live in the city, and my area already has a lot of crime. So if it gets bad enough, chances are pretty good you're not going to find me here. Yeah. Of course, we have our plans and that kind of stuff. If it's a minor thing, yeah, sure, we're gonna bug in. But if things start going to holy hell, Sarge ain't going to be at home. Now, your situation might be entirely different if you live in a safer area.
Yes, sir. I think the answer is both. You know, situation is going to dictate. If you can't breathe the air, if you can no longer drink the water in your neighborhood, it's time to go.
That's kind of an easy one. If you don't have to leave, then
you should stay. Yeah,
I wouldn't. Yeah.
That's where, I mean, you know where all your resources are in your area. You know who you should know who you can trust in that area.
Absolutely.
Like I know where all the edible plants are within about a mile of my location, right? Because I've walked it all numerous times, and as I'm walking, I'm looking for this stuff. I know where I can find fresh water. I know where there's probably going to be squirrels. I know where there's probably going to be fish, right? But again, I live in an area that's already got a gang problem, and if things go to crap and the police are not able to be what they are, they're going to try to take advantage of that. And then Mrs. Sarge and I have to make a decision. Is it no longer safe to stay here?
Yeah. And your safety and your family's safety should be everybody's number one priority when it comes to preparedness, because we never break the first rule of survival. Don't fucking die.
That's right.
Don't die.
Survive at all costs. Yeah.
That's it.
If it's not Wednesday, you're not even legally allowed to. You're physically, you can't. You can't do that.
It's true.
We're only allowed to die on Wednesdays.
If you die on Wednesday, you're going straight to hell, bro. No purgatory, no nothing.
Yeah.
Sarge, thank you so very much for joining us this evening. Absolute blast. Time flew by fast tonight. And
going over 10 minutes, as a matter of fact. Still felt short.
I know. And I want to thank everybody, all the viewers here tonight, because you're investing your most precious resource with us, your time. And thank you for joining us tonight.
Fools, I've taken your time. You can't get it back.
And thank you so much for all the donations. We really appreciate it. We're still trying to pay for the rapper to get on our sick beat. So thank you so much. We really appreciate everything. Sarge, again, thank you for joining us. I will definitely put a link to Sarge's channel in the description section of this video. And you should be subscribed to Prepping with Sarge, because he's the man. He's the man. And
I would love to have you come join us over there. Absolutely.
Thought-provoking content, that's 100% of the way. And I often find myself having to give my video responses to Sarge's questions because, well, they're really freaking good and they make me think. And thank you for all of them, Sarge. We really appreciate it.
Always good to hang out with you guys. And thank you for the feedback. Yeah, there is going to be more scenario stuff coming for sure.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Looking forward to it. Thank you, everybody, for joining us this evening. Livingston, man, could you roll that beautiful beam footage?
Good evening, and welcome to We All Gonna Die Wednesday. Livingston, man, roll that beautiful beam footage.
We all go down.